Hello, my name is Michaela MacArthur and I did juvenile arthritis adaptive physical activity. So what is juvenile arthritis? This is the condition overview. Juvenile arthritis is an autoimmune condition, which means that the immune system attacks the healthy cells, both on top of foreign cells as well. When attacking the healthy cells, this creates inflammation and problems within the body. This is considered pediatric or juvenile arthritis because it affects only those under the age of 16, not to mean that people over 16 can't get arthritis, but juvenile arthritis is for those under the age of 16. It is non-curable and it's an unknown cause. Condition overview continue. Juvenile arthritis signs and symptoms. So the joints appear red, swollen, stiff, and painful, tender, and warm. Since juvenile arthritis does not just mean it affects the joints, it also includes lupus, fibromyalgia, psoriasis, and all of the sorts. So it can affect the skin, including scaly red rashes, light spotted pink rash, butterfly rash on the face, which is key of lupus, and thickened or hardened patches of skin. It can affect the eyes as well, which includes dryness, pain, redness, chronic eye inflammation. This can even affect internal organs, including like the GI tract, which would cause diarrhea, and lungs would cause shortness of breath. Other would be overall fatigue and appetite loss, fevers, and weight loss. So again, it's not just including the joints, it is an overall systemic body condition. It includes more than just joint pain, and it is a damaging condition. Diagnosis includes going to a pediatrician and being referred to a rheumatologist. A rheumatologist is a specialist in rheumatic diseases, including the treatment of arthritis. Diagnosis, tests, and criteria includes blood tests, including inflammation markers, which is sedimentation rate, CRP levels, but also x-rays, which shows signs of joint damage, like the picture on the left. You can see in that picture on the left that the joints are damaged and inflamed and bigger. Visual would be the doctor would look at the joints and see redness, stiffness, and warmth. The patient would give oral information about their pain, and overall this would be the diagnosis of juvenile arthritis. Another important key factor is medical history, seeing if other people in the family have had juvenile arthritis or have arthritis. This is the risk factor and who is affected. Juvenile arthritis affects around 300,000 kids under the age of 16 in the U.S. It's more common in girls, and genes do have a factor. It's not a genetic condition. If someone in the family has had arthritis or juvenile arthritis, it makes them more likely to have juvenile arthritis, but you do not need someone in the family to have juvenile arthritis to be diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. Here are the functional limitations. So as I said, it causes joint stiffness and joint pain in various joints: back, knees, hips, hands, vertebrae, neck, anywhere that's a joint. This can cause limited movement, especially during flares and out of flares. Some examples are hard time throwing a ball over her head because of shoulder arthritis, could be during soccer, hard time engaging in an activity right away because of stiffness. Issues with lack of energy and temporary wheelchair use can happen sometimes as well. Adaptive physical activity. Physical activity benefits in juvenile arthritis includes improved flexibility, aid in joint lubrication, which decreases pain, improved joint strength, moving frequently can reduce stiffness. Lack of physical activity risks. It can increase joint damage. Not being active can increase your weight, which further strains the joints. Increased stiffness and likelihood of contractures. If you're not using your joints and they stay in one place where it feels best for that to decrease that pain, you're going to get contractures, especially like in your hands or in your ankles. Decreased inability to improve symptoms. Here are the modifications I'm talking about in the school system because it is a pediatric condition we're talking about. And main activity happens during, say, gym class during school. So throwing a ball over the head could be a problem with arthritis in your shoulders. You could modify this to like throwing between your legs and out. So you're going under and out. Have warm up well before activity to loosen the joints from stiffness. This will benefit everyone because warming up before an activity is really important, especially for someone with juvenile arthritis. So having that accommodation of warming up beforehand will decrease that stiffness. If we're having a wheelchair use, then that day could include activities that just use the upper extremities, or have multiple activities in that gym class where the student, where some students can have lower extremity use, but that student with the wheelchair has the option to participate and use their upper extremities. Pain can be accommodated by regressing the activity for everyone. If they're playing baseball, then you can have the options of a bigger and lighter bat with a softball, or a heavier and thinner bat with a baseball. Having those options will help the student be able to participate, because if they have a lighter and bigger surface area with a lighter ball, then they'll be able to participate with less pain. And it doesn't single out that child. It's just regressing the activity for everyone and having an option. Make the whole activity different for everyone. As I said, it's so important not to single them out. During this period of time, ages 16 and under, self-esteem is so important. So making the activity accommodated for everyone is important, and it doesn't have negative effects on those healthy children too. Engaging and motivating is so important. This might be the first time a juvenile arthritis child is included in an activity. And having that voice in the crowd saying, "You're doing great, you're doing awesome, you're really excelling at this sport," may be that deciding factor that pushes them to participate in the sport after school, because maybe they've never been included in activities and just given the easy option of, hey, you can have a study period instead of gym because you have this condition. Isn't that great? So including them and motivating them is really important during this time. This is Hannah on the right, and she had juvenile arthritis, now considered arthritis. She allowed me to talk about her in my presentation, and we had a phone conversation about her experience with juvenile arthritis. She is 21 years old now and was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at the age of 8. She talks of how physical activity and movement always made her feel better. She has a rigorous schedule of PT twice a week. She even had an accommodation in her 504 plan that said she could get up and move when she needed to help keep her joints from being stiff. She's felt more unincluded than included during her K through 12 years. Teacher and staff treated her as if she was fragile. She is in love with boats in the ocean, and she was told in high school that she could never be at sea on a boat. And that was her dream, so that really defeated her. But it also pushed her to be better and to make that dream come true. College brought her inclusion. Professors learned of her condition and treated her and her condition as normal. If an obstacle came along, they addressed and modified. She had a brace on her right hand during the week of learning the boats because her right arm is the most arthritic. She had anxiety that this was the time that she'd yet again be unincluded. Professors taught her everything by using just one hand, even though they knew the brace wasn't permanent. They said they wanted her to be prepared. In that time they took to just learn about her condition and accommodate her and teach her how to accommodate herself, really made her feel included finally, which is so important to do with someone with a disability. And that's Hannah on the boats, and she's actually part of the United States Coast Guard now, which is really amazing. So she's really made her dreams come true despite the circumstances she was given by people who thought that she wouldn't be able to do it. And these are my references. I mainly used arthritis.org, which really had a lot of good information. And thank you for listening. Thank you for the opportunity to research this condition.